Good morning, dear students. Let us move on to our next session, that is the alkaline earth metals. The alkaline earth metals are group 2 metals, group 2 elements. Okay, alkaline earth metals, it is group 2 present in the periodic table, and also the elements present in this group 2, they are beryllium, magnesium, beryllium Be, beryllium, magnesium, then calcium, then strontium, barium, radium. Okay, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. So except beryllium, all these other elements, they are together called as alkaline earth metals. Excluding beryllium, all the other elements, they are together called as alkaline earth metals. Okay, and also the reason is that all other metals, they will be forming oxides, and the oxides of these elements, that is starting from magnesium to barium, these oxides, they are alkaline in nature. The oxides of these elements, they are alkaline. So that is why they are called as alkaline earth metals. Okay, so except beryllium, all other elements are alkaline earth metals, because the oxides of these metals, they will be alkaline in nature. Okay, and also one more point to be noted down is that beryllium, it is the first member of this group 2 element, isn't it? And also beryllium, it is showing a diagonal relationship with magnesium, isn't it? Beryllium is having a diagonal not magnesium, beryllium, it is having a diagonal relationship with aluminium. Okay, sorry for that. Beryllium, it is having a diagonal relationship with aluminium. So that point also you have to note it down. Okay. See, this beryllium and again aluminium, it is present here. Okay, so both of them are diagonally related, beryllium and aluminium. Okay. Then the next is regarding the general characteristics. General characteristics. First one, electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. See, these elements, normally this particular group, that is alkaline earth metals, they have got a general electronic configuration of Ns2. General electronic configuration of alkaline earth metals is Ns2. And also this Ns2 means S is completely filled, right? S is having 2 electrons, that means it is a completely filled orbital. That means this particular group, it is having a noble gas configuration. Okay, a completely filled configuration or a noble gas configuration for this group, for alkaline earth metals. Okay. Then the next one, the second one, that is the atomic and ionic radii. Atomic and ionic radii. Atomic and ionic radii. See here, while comparing with group 1, this atomic and ionic radii, it is smaller, because along a period, what happens, the atomic size is decreasing, isn't it? Atomic size is decreasing along a period. Atomic size decreases along a period. That means the ionic as well as atomic size decreases along a period. That means this atomic and ionic radii also decreases along a period. So comparing with group 1, so let it be group 1 and this is group 2. What happens? The atomic size will be decreasing, isn't it? So comparing with group 1, this group 2 has got a smaller atomic and ionic radii. Okay. And also see this smaller atomic and ionic radii, it is due to the increased nuclear charge. It is due to the increased nuclear charge, because along a period, what happens, one electron is added, at the same time. See, this nucleus, it is having neutrons and protons, and also the electrons are revolving. While the atomic number is increasing, what happens? One proton is added. So what happens? The nuclear charge will be increasing and it will be pulling this outermost electron towards its nucleus. Okay, it will the number of protons is increasing. So this nuclear charge or the nuclear charge increases. As a result, an inward pull will be experienced by the outermost electrons. So what happens? The atomic size will be decreasing along a period. So the reason is that it is having an increased nuclear charge. Okay, and also down the group, what happens? Down the group, atomic and ionic radii increases. Okay, atomic radii and ionic radii increases. Atomic radii and ionic radii increases down the group. So along a period, what happens? This atomic and ionic radii decreases, and down the group atomic and ionic radii increases. Okay, then the third property, that is the ionization enthalpy or the ionization energy. Ionization enthalpy or ionization energy. Ionization enthalpy or ionization energy. Ionization energy means the energy required to remove the valence electron from an atom, isn't it? That is ionization energy. See here, normally these alkaline earth metals have got low ionization energies. Okay, for this alkaline earth metals. And also within the group or down the group, what happens? Down the group, the ionization energy decreases. Down the group, ionization energy decreases. See here, this ionization energy decreases means, down the group means what happens? The number of shells will be increasing, isn't it? Down the group. That is starting from beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium, etc. See down the group, what happens? The number of shells will be increasing, and as a result, it will be easy to remove the valence electron from its outermost shell. Okay, that means less amount of energy will be required to remove this electron from the valence shell, because the nuclear size is increasing, isn't it? Down the group, the nuclear size is increasing since the number of orbits around the nucleus is increasing. So the force of attraction between the nucleus and this particular valence electron will be increasing down the group. As a result, we can easily remove the outermost electron. Okay, so that is the reason for the decrease in the ionization energy down the group. So, and also this down the group, this ionization energy is also decreasing along with the increase in the atomic number. See here, the reason is that extra electrons will be added across this valence shell, and there will be a screening effect of electrons. You have to study this particular term, screening effect. That is because as the number of shells increases, it will be protected from the nuclear charge. Okay, so as a result of this, screening of electrons will be taking place, and as a result, it will be easy to remove the valence electron from the outermost shell. Okay. So this is the case of the first ionization energy. So the first ionization energy decreases down the group. So I am writing it as first ionization energy decreases down the group. Okay. Then coming to the next point, that is regarding the second ionization energy. Second ionization energy. See, coming to the case of second ionization energy, see, the second ionization energies of alkaline earth metals are smaller while comparing with that of alkali metals. Second ionization energy of alkaline earth metals are lesser than this alkali metals. lesser than the alkali metals, because second ionization energy means the removal of the second electron, the energy required to remove the second electron, that is the second ionization energy. That means the second electron in the case of alkali metals, it cannot be easily removed. Okay, it cannot be easily removed since they are having a stable noble gas configuration. If it is having a noble gas configuration, more energy is required, more ionization energy is required for removing an electron. Okay, so mainly this alkali metals after the removal of first electron, alkali metals, it has got an outermost configuration NS1, isn't it? So that means NS1 means this electron can be removed with the help of first ionization energy, isn't it? That much energy is required to remove the first electron. But in the next case, for the second, or in the case of the second ionization energy, that means the energy required to remove the second electron, that means it is having a noble gas configuration. For this second electron, it is a part of the noble gas configuration. So for removing that particular second electron, it requires more amount of energy for in the case of alkali metals. Okay, but in the case of alkaline earth metals, it is already having NS2 configuration. So this is a stable noble gas configuration. So more energy is required there. Then coming to the case of second electron, lesser amount of energy is required to remove the second electron. Okay, so that is the difference. So for in the case of second ionization energy, alkaline earth metals is lesser than that of alkali metals. Okay. So the removal of the second electron is easier in the case of alkaline earth metals while comparing with that of alkali metals. Okay, the removal of the second electron is easier in the case of alkaline earth metals. That is the second point to be noted down in the case of ionization energy, first ionization energy and second ionization energy. Then the next one, that is the next point, that is the fourth point, that is the electropositive character. Electropositive character. See, normally these alkali metals are electropositive in nature. Electropositive means they will not be having any electronegativity nature. Okay, so it is electropositive in nature. And also the electropositive character increases from beryllium to barium. Starting from beryllium to barium, this electropositive character increases. That is, down the group, electropositive character increases. Okay, down the group, electropositive character increases. Then the next one, that is the metallic character. Metallic character. Normally, this group 2 elements or alkaline earth metals, they are metallic in nature. Metallic in nature. The metallic character also increases down the group. Down the group, metallic character increases. Down the group, metallic character increases. Okay, so that is about metallic nature. So generally they are metallic in nature. Metallic means it will be able to donate the electrons, or it will be having a di-positive charge, +2 charge. Okay, it has got NS2 configuration, so it can donate these 2 electrons, and thus it will be having a charge of +2. So that it is metallic in nature. Okay, then the next one, the sixth point, that is the flame coloration. Flame coloration. Flame coloration. Normally this calcium, strontium and barium, they will be giving flame color. Calcium, while showing to flame, it will be giving brick red color. Calcium will be giving brick red color. Then strontium, it is giving crimson red color. Crimson red color, a very bright color, crimson red color, that is one orangish red color. Then barium, it is giving apple green color. So this is the flame color which is given by calcium, strontium and barium. You will be doing practicals in your S3, S4 periods. Okay, so that time you can do all these experiments, you can do the flame color. So this is one of the tests to identify whether the given salt has got calcium or strontium or barium. Sometimes you might have done it in your +2 lab, right? So this is regarding the flame coloration. So here how this flame is imparted to, how this color is imparted to the flame. That means, see, what happens is that while we are showing these compounds to the flame, what happens is that the electrons will be excited from the ground state. Suppose this is the ground state and this is the excited state. So while we are heating this particular compound, what happens? The electrons will be excited from the ground state to the excited state. Okay, they will be excited to the higher energy level, and then after that it will be again return. It cannot reach in the it cannot be remain in that excited state. It is in a disequilibrium state, so it has to move to the ground state itself. So while returning back to the ground state, what happens? Some of the energy will be emitted in the form of visible radiation. Okay, so while returning to the ground state, that means it has to be in equilibrium, or it has to be in a stable position. So for that it will be back to its ground state. So while returning back to its ground state, it will be exciting some it will be emitting some energy in the visible region. Okay, so visible region means it will be having colors of VIBGYOR. So the corresponding complementary color will be imparted to the flame. Thus these compounds or these elements will be exhibiting some flame color to the flame. Okay, so that is the reason. So while first of all, it will be excited from ground state to the excited state. So after that, from the excited state, it has to be back. So while returning back to the ground state, it will be emitting some energy in the region, in the visible region. Visible region means it will be having some color, VIBGYOR. Okay, so that is how this is imparting color to the flame. Hope you are clear. So this point you have to note it down. Flame coloration. It is important. Then the next one, that is regarding the density. 7th point. Density. 7th point regarding the density. Normally these alkaline earth metals, they are denser while comparing with that of alkali metals. They are denser as well as harder. They are dense as well as hard. Okay, while comparing with the alkali metals. And also the reason is that while comparing with this alkali metals, they have got a smaller size, isn't it? While comparing with alkali metals, this alkaline earth metals have got a smaller size, and also they will be having strong metallic bonds. They will be having strong metallic bonds, and strong metallic bonds means they will be packed closely in a crystal lattice. Okay, they will be closely packed. They will be closely packed in a crystal lattice. That means a tight packing will be there in the while we are considering the case of these compounds. Okay, they will be closely packed in a crystal lattice, and also usually they will be having smaller size and strong metallic bonds. So that is why these compounds, these group 2 metals, they are usually denser as well as harder. Then the next point, the 8th point, that is regarding the melting and boiling points. NP and BP I am writing in short, but you have to write it as melting point and boiling point. Okay, I'm a little bit lazy in writing, so please write it as melting point and boiling point. Here this alkaline earth metals, they have low melting and boiling points. Alkaline earth metals have got low melting and boiling points, but while comparing with that of alkali metals, they have got higher melting and boiling points. While comparing with alkali metals, these alkaline earth metals has got a high melting point and boiling point. Okay. Then the next point, 9th point, molar volume. Molar volume. Molar volume increases regularly from beryllium to radium. Molar volume increases regularly from beryllium to radium. So here this that means from beryllium to radium means it is down the group, isn't it? Down the group, this molar volume increases. down the group molar volume increases. Here the reason is that here the atomic radii is increasing down the group, isn't it? Atomic radii is increasing down the group. Atomic radii increasing means down the group means the number of shells is increasing, isn't it? Number of shells is increasing. Therefore, we can say that the atomic radii is also increasing. Number of shells are increasing. That means down the group it will be like this. Each shell will be added across that particular atom. So what happens? The atomic radii will also increase down the group. Okay. So that is why the molar volume also increases down the group. Then the next point, that is regarding the electronegativity. Electronegativity. Electronegativity means it is just the opposite of electropositivity, isn't it? These compounds or these alkaline earth metals, they are generally electropositive in nature. So because of the strong electropositive character, they are having very low electronegativities. They are having very low electronegativities. Okay. Then the next point, 11th point, that is the reducing properties. Reducing properties. The alkaline earth metals are strong reducing agents. Alkaline earth metals, they are strong reducing agents. Reducing agents means they will be providing hydrogens, isn't it? Or they have a strong reducing agents means they have a strong tendency to release electrons. They have a strong tendency to release electrons. That is the meaning of reducing agents. Okay, so normally this alkaline earth metals are strong reducing agents. So we can write the equation like this. Suppose this M, it is the alkali metal, and the reduction, after the reduction, what happens? It will be losing 2 electrons to form M2 plus 2 electron. Okay, that means it is a divalent nature. It has got a divalent nature. It is a dipositive ion. Okay, so it will be releasing 2 electrons. So these electrons will be acting as the reducing agent. Okay, so that is regarding the general physical properties of this alkaline earth metals. Then the next one, we have to go through some of the chemical properties. Chemical properties. Chemical properties. See, the reaction is that M2 plus in aqueous solution, it will be having M2 plus, isn't it? M2 plus charge. It is a dipositive ion. Okay, that means it will be existing in the +2 oxidation state. These elements normally they will be existing in the +2 oxidation state. So first is the reaction with hydrogen. First chemical property, that is the reaction with hydrogen. So reaction with hydrogen means here hydride formation is there. Hydride formation is happening. Hydride formation. See here, except beryllium, all other elements will be reacting with hydrogen. Okay, except beryllium. Except beryllium, all other elements will be reacting with hydrogen. So we can write the equation for calcium, Ca plus H2 on heat giving CaH2, calcium hydride. Okay, calcium hydride. Similarly, beryllium hydride can be prepared, and beryllium hydride, it is prepared by the reduction of beryllium chloride. Reduction of beryllium chloride, BeCl2 plus LiAlH4. 2BeCl2 plus LiAlH4 giving beryllium hydride BeH2 plus LiCl plus AlCl3. So beryllium chloride on reduction using lithium aluminum hydride. Lithium aluminum hydride, it is a very good reducing agent. This is lithium aluminum hydride. Lithium Aluminium hydride. Lithium aluminium hydride. So beryllium chloride on reduction using lithium aluminium hydride giving beryllium hydride. This is beryllium hydride. Beryllium hydride. Okay. Then the next another compound is magnesium hydride. Magnesium hydride. Then similarly calcium hydride, then strontium hydride, SrH2 and barium hydride. These four compounds you have to study the nature. This magnesium hydride, it is covalent in nature. Magnesium hydride is covalent in nature, while calcium, strontium and barium hydrides, they are ionic in nature. Beryllium hydride is covalent in nature. Calcium, strontium and barium, they are ionic in nature. And again, this calcium hydride, it is otherwise called as hydrolith. Calcium hydride, it is otherwise called as hydrolith. 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 Okay. So normally all these hydrides will be dissolving in water to form their hydroxides. So this will be reacting with water to form their hydroxides. So we can write an equation of calcium hydride. Okay. Calcium hydride on reaction with water 2H2O. Reaction with water giving calcium hydroxide CaOH twice plus 2H2. CaOH twice plus 2H2. Okay. Then the next one, beryllium hydride. BH2. Beryllium hydride, it is an exception. See here, beryllium hydride, it is the first one in that particular group, isn't it? So beryllium, it has got the smaller size. Beryllium has got the small size, and also the charge in this compound, that means beryllium, it is having Be2 plus, isn't it? So Be2 plus, it has got a higher charge and small size. Higher charge and small size. Therefore, what happens is that this beryllium Be2 plus, it will be, it has got the capability for polarizing. Okay, that means it is a highly polarizing ion. Beryllium hydride, it is a highly polarizing ion because it has got a smaller size and also the charge is very high, Be2 plus. So it has got a polarizing capacity. Okay. So so here it becomes Be2 plus, and what about hydrogen? Hydrogen, it is H minus, isn't it? H minus ion, hydride ion. So here a partial overlapping of these two will be taking place. Beryllium and H minus will be taking place. So here some covalent character, overlapping of the atomic orbitals means some covalent character will be developed between these two elements. Okay, so this is the partial overlapping of the atomic orbitals. See here, beryllium, it has got a dumbbell shape, and also hydrogen, it has got an S character. So a partial overlapping of these two orbitals taking place, and therefore this beryllium hydride, it is covalent in nature. Okay, overlapping means it will be sharing the ion, so therefore it will be having a covalent nature. Okay, so beryllium hydride, it is covalent in nature. Beryllium hydride, covalent. Beryllium hydride is covalent in nature. Okay, but in the case of calcium, strontium and barium, see both are these three compounds, they are ionic in nature. Okay, so then the next reaction, that is the formation of oxides, that we can see in our next session. Okay, thank you.